Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of the MUSpartans.com Spartan Show for Tuesday, September 27th, 2016. On today's episode, we sit down with sport management professors Dr. Ryan Hedstrom and Dr. Sun Kang to discuss the upcoming Primetime at the Perk event. Assistant football coach Chuck Ehret and senior kicker punter Andrew Coe stop by for our weekly football update. Tennis players Mariam and Erin Cordill join us to discuss the tennis season, and Kaitlin Powers stops by to get an update from the golf program. Stay tuned. First up on tonight's show is sport management professors Dr. Ryan Hedstrom and Dr. Sun Kang to discuss this year's Primetime at the Perk. Dr. Hedstrom, let's start with you. Could you start by telling us a little bit about the event and what it is and what it means to Manchester?
Sure. Well, Primetime at the Perk is our version of Midnight Madness. It's the beginning of the men's and women's basketball seasons. And like other colleges, it's really a celebration of the teams. It's a way to introduce folks to the teams. We do a lot of fan interaction, little games, prizes, giveaways, things like that.
Okay. And Dr. Kang, this year there are a few classes collaborating on this project. Can you tell us what those classes are and what each is responsible for?
Sure. So the classes that are collaborating are sport marketing class, sport information, and event management class. Three of us get together and take different parts of the Primetime at the Perk. So Dr. Hedstrom's event management class will take on the event portion of the Primetime at the Perk, where my marketing class will take on all the marketing efforts of the Primetime at the Perk, and Mark Atkins' sport information class will take on all the information and any social media and all those getting the sport information out of the event, of that, and we collaborate together to make this happen.
Okay, awesome. And Dr. Hedstrom, lastly, can you tell us what it means for the sport management program to help put on such a big event like this for the university?
Sure. Well, this is always, we were talking before this, I think this is about our 10th year doing this event, and this is always kind of our marquee fall event. It's a chance for a lot of students to get involved in planning the event, running the event, and it's our most visible event here on campus.
Absolutely.
And I think with these three classes working together, the hope is that it will grow and grow, and students will take even more ownership over running it.
That would be great. Well, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up on today's show, we have assistant football coach Chuck Ehret and senior kicker and punter Andrew Coe. Coach Ehret, we'll start with you. This is your first year here at Manchester University. We want to thank you for joining us, and we want to welcome you to the Spartan family. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your background in football and what you're doing for the team this year?
Absolutely. Well, actually, this is my second time here. Back in the mid-2000s, I was an assistant football coach. It was my second coaching job under Coach Griff. Originally, though, I'm from Central Ohio. I played football at Malone College, which was an NA high school, then went and got my master's degree at Valparaiso University, where I graduated with a degree in sport management and sport administration. From there, like I said, was here earlier, followed Coach Jensen to Defiance College. We split ways, and I went to Adrian College, where we won the MIAA championship and actually played Franklin in the playoffs, coincidentally enough. And from there I went to Earlham College, where I became the OC. Coach Jensen became the head coach, gave me a call this summer and said, hey, got an opening on my staff, what do you think? Me, no brainer, packed up our things and we headed north. So it's definitely a great opportunity to be back here and be a part of the Manchester family, because it's always been close to my heart. And not too many people know this, but without me working here earlier, I wouldn't have met my future wife. So it's a great connection that I've had with this place.
Well, that's awesome. And what are going to be your duties this year in terms of coaching?
So coaching-wise, I coach the wide receivers, special teams, and basically I've picked up a lot of coaching instances off the field duties to really manage the structure of the team.
Okay. And now Andrew, we'll talk with you for a little bit. So you're a senior for this team now this year. What's it like playing your senior season here at the university, and what does it mean to you to be a part of this squad?
I gotta say, I really don't want it to end. It's kind of bittersweet. It really flew by. That's really just it. I don't want it to end. I love seeing the new guys come in, though, seeing who's going to take over for us when we do leave. Looks like it's going to be a great group of guys. So.
Okay, awesome. Coach, now let's talk a little bit about football.
Okay.
Let's revisit last weekend's game against Mount St. Joseph. Can you tell us a little bit about that game, what you're going to be taking away from it, and what to look forward to as we head up against Franklin College?
Absolutely. You watched if you got to watch the game, you saw it was a well thought out battle. I mean, 1-point game at halftime. We're going toe to toe with one of the major players in the conference, which is huge to see. See our young men step up. I think that what they took away, and hopefully they learned a little more about themselves, that they can play with anybody in this conference. For as far as for the future going this week, we're focusing on ourselves. What can we do as a team to improve? On all aspects, from offense, defense, special teams, really focus on becoming a better player. And really putting it all together for this week's matchup. Because, we're facing the top, defending champs, so we got to bring our best game this week.
Right. Now, Andrew, you've gotten to do a variety of different things with this team. You've been punting, you've been kicking, you've also had kickoff duties. What's your favorite part of the game and why?
I'd have to say watching the ball go through the uprights, knowing I scored those points, but knowing that it is a team atmosphere, it's a family atmosphere. I wouldn't be able to do my job without the rest of the team. Being able to rely on those guys to get my job done, and knowing that coach is going to put us in the best position to score, and then knowing that I can go out and do my job and make the team better.
Right, that's awesome. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Spartan's next football game is this Saturday against Franklin College at 1:30 p.m.
Now we sit down with junior tennis player Mariam Ali. Mariam, so far you guys have had a very strong start to your season, especially in conference play at 4-1. What are your thoughts on such a historic start?
Well, it's definitely been a pretty good season this far. Our practices, our hard work at practice has definitely paid off. We've been also practicing with the guys the past 3 days just to get us up there because we have the Hanover game coming up next Saturday. So we're just trying to work our way up there.
Very cool. And you have played exceptionally well throughout the early season individually. What has been the key to your success so far?
I feel like it's definitely been an adjustment, especially that I haven't played tennis in a while. And Coach Ehret has been very patient with me this far. It was definitely a slower start at the beginning. I feel like the schedule has really helped us because our opponents gradually kept getting more difficult.
Yeah.
So I think our schedule really did help me stay consistent and keep the winning streak going.
That makes sense. Yeah. And lastly, could you discuss what it is your favorite part about playing tennis at the collegiate level?
I feel like it's definitely when we get to travel around together. If you have any of us on Snapchat, the parents always enjoy us singing karaoke or doing karaoke on the bus. Even Coach Ehret joins along sometimes.
That's all right.
That's definitely my favorite part probably. Or when we're trying to decide on whether we're having Panda or Qdoba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I prefer queso, but that's another story.
Okay.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Now we sit down with junior tennis player Erin Cordill. Erin, can you tell us what your favorite part is about being on the team?
I would say my favorite part is just competing alongside my teammates who have become my second family over the past 3 years that I've been here.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what is it like being an upperclassman now on the team?
It's just leadership, teaching the younger kids the ropes and just being a good example for them.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us tonight and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And it's time for the Spartan Show MVP of the Week announcement. This week's honor goes to sophomore men's soccer midfielder Ben Niederhellman. The Ross, Ohio native recorded his first collegiate multiple goal effort on a big stage Sunday, September 24th, as the 2 goals he scored against Illinois Tech helped the Spartans remain unbeaten due to a 3-2 victory at Good Field. Congratulations, Ben. The Spartan Show MVP of the Week award leads us into Black and Gold Weekly Highlights. Our crew was on hand for the first home duels of the MU women's fall tennis season as Coach Eric Christiansen's team split, defeating Defiance 9-0 and battling Franklin to the wire in a 6-3 loss. The Spartans sit second on the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference standings with Hanover visiting Saturday, October 1st, in a first and second place battle at MU's courts. Black and Gold Volleyball had a 500 week, falling in 3 to Rose-Hulman Wednesday, but rebounding for a 4-set victory over Franklin on Saturday, to stand second on the league standings. Junior outside hitter Allie Roskis was a big key in the program's first win over the Grizzlies since 2012, hitting at a .360 pace, 11 kills, serving 3 aces and contributing to 13 digs and 2 block assists. Coach and Brendan Polson's squad began 6 in a row on the road Monday at IU Northwest and returns to conference action with a trip to Hanover Saturday, October 1st.
Our final guest on today's show is junior women's golfer Kaitlin Powers. Kaitlin, let's revisit this past weekend at the Transylvania Invitational. You were able to place in the top 15 individually. How do you feel that you played this weekend, and how do you feel the team played overall?
I think this weekend went really well. I was happy with my scores. Went down a few strokes the second day, which is always the goal. Putting was a lot better, so that was good for me. And then as a whole, I think the team did relatively well too, because our scores lowered and we were happy with our placing.
Okay. Now looking ahead, you have the Earlham College Invitational, and then you wrap up the season with the HCAC tournament. Can you tell us a little bit about what are going to be your focuses in practice, and what are some of your individual goals moving forward to these last two tournaments?
Definitely for practice, we're going to be focusing on putting because that takes a lot of strokes off of our game.
Right.
Coach is really big on that. We do practices with like 4 hours of putting. And then coming up, my personal goal is to make the all-conference team this year. I missed it by 2 strokes last year. So that's like my goal.
All right, well, we thank you for joining us. Thank you for the update, and good luck on the rest of your season.
Thank you.
That is all we have for today on this edition of the Spartan Show. Make sure to stay up to date on all Manchester University stats, scores, and news by visiting www.muspartans.com. Make sure to join us next week for another edition of the Spartan Show. Thank you.